everybody, this is Yeli. Today I am on day 58 on Mounjaro. So let me give you an update on how everything's been going on the rash. Yesterday was injection day. It's been 12 hours since injection, so I have an update on that. Yeah, a general update. I think I have not done one of those in a while. In terms of weight, I've lost 11 pounds. Now I'm steady at the 11 pounds loss. Remember that I told you that I'm a slow loser. Like I don't shed pounds super fast. It has a lot to do with my sugar, I think, because even though it's much better, I don't think it's still quite normal yet, right? I mean, it has improved, but I think I'm still on pre-diabetic levels, which makes the whole cycle of losing weight a little complicated. Anyway, not to go in too much on that, but at least I am fluctuating between a half a pound and a 1 pound up or down. So I'm going with the middle, which is 11 pounds weight loss, and not terrible. It's stuck. I'm feeling good. Of course, I'm ready to lose more pounds, but and I'm taking care of my food. I am planning my meals. I am writing down what I eat. I am staying within the carb limits that my nutritionist gave me, and they didn't give me any type of boundaries in terms of calories, but I've been tracking calories and I'm not getting that many calories in either. If anything, there's been funny times where I've gotten in more calories, and those days I've definitely stuck to the bottom of the fluctuation in terms of weight. So like, you know, it's just amazing sometimes, but maybe my metabolism needs a little bit more food intake. I don't know. I'll talk to them when I have my next appointment. In terms of side effects, I have not experienced any side effects on the 5 milligram shot other than the rash on the site of injection, which I'll go into later, because that's a whole thing that I need to talk a little bit more about. I do have to say that the food chatter is like the first 3 or 4 weeks on Mounjaro, like the food chatter, like the first week, the food chatter got weird. It was kind of like all over the place, but the second, third, and fourth weeks, my food chatter was basically non-existent, and it kind of started creeping back up on weeks 5 and 6. But then on the first week of the 5 milligram shot, my food chatter was basically non-existent, and it did come back very mildly day of injection because I inject at night. So of course there must have not been that much of it in my system. But the second and third weeks of the 5th shot, food chatter has been more present. I do have to say a few things about food chatter. The first, it is not as imperative, crazy, or strong as it was neither that first week on Mounjaro, where I was kind of going crazy, didn't know what to do with this, nor as it was before Mounjaro when it came. With this, what I'm saying is that I've worked in I've worked in an emotional level, like a spiritual level, a physical level, so a kind of mind, body, and soul type of thing, because I know that I eat compulsively and I eat emotionally. So I need to deal with all the areas in my life where this expresses itself. And I have not stopped doing that, right? And I definitely felt the food chatter more over the weekend with the stressful situation that we had. And then it was better yesterday. So to me, what this is saying is that even though Mounjaro helps suppress that a little bit, when life happens, it's gonna continue coming. It's just that I feel I'm a little bit better equipped to work on it because first, I've been enough weeks on Mounjaro that I'm not eating big quantities, so I don't think my stomach can accept like larger meals or me eating grazing constantly, which is what I tend to do. That's not something that my stomach accepts because I do still have the mechanism of action effect of feeling fuller earlier. Sometimes not quite as early as it was at first, but I do still have, right, the delayed reaction of the mechanism of action. So the gastric emptying of the mechanism of action. So that's still helpful. But I know that I need to keep on working on the other things. I cannot let Mounjaro do all the work because what happens when it doesn't work anymore? What happens when I need to go off of it? If I need to go off of it, especially like coming to terms with that when I started seeing the rash, that was something that got me really thinking and being like, hey, you know what? I know I've slacked a little bit on all the other things that I was working on, but I better just pick this up and you know, figure out how to do this properly as if I weren't on Mounjaro, taking the help that being on Mounjaro gives me, right? So I still need to do my things. And basically, besides a lot of journaling and writing, and also documenting my food and following my side effects, water is very important for me. And just having this thing of water as soon as I wake up in the morning before having my first coffee or breakfast, if I'm switching my fasting, that's important for me to do. And I need to continue doing that. I need to continue watching my protein. The more I watch my protein, the better my satiety feels. And I also do know, and this I brought from keto, and I know it might not work for everybody because listen, I'm sharing my experience. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't pretend to be the person to tell you what to do for your health. That is something that you have to consult with your medical professional team, right? I'm just talking about what works for me. So I know that healthy fats is something that's also important for me to feel full and just help that food chatter not come back, and if it comes back, to be something that I can easily discard with all the other tools that I have. And then I'm still doing intermittent fasting. It's just that I'm kind of switching it up, and I'm listening to a very good book, and I'll let you guys know which book and what I've learned from it later on when I finish it, because I'm barely starting. So I don't want to share something with you guys that then as I hear the book doesn't make sense for me. So I'll wait a little bit on that, but it's a lot of tips for fasting, especially women, and especially depending on where hormones are in terms of like menopause, not menopause, cycle, whatever, right? All that stuff. So my electrolytes, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but it's something that I still have to keep in mind. And when the food chatter comes and I'm starting to feel hungry, sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. And over so many years of learning how to understand my body, I've kind of gotten better at gauging which is which. I'm not perfect at it, just better. So what I tell myself, and I love this strategy, is can I wait 10 minutes before I act on how I'm feeling? And in the meantime, can I have some water? I do know that when I am well hydrated, the food chatter comes less, even if it's the day of or before the injection. So that is something that I really need to pay attention to, right? And of course, walking, continuing to be more active, and I'm at a level where I'm comfortable where I am. So this means I need to titrate up on my walking, on my exercise. But I don't want to do too much of it, then that I have cortisol overflowing in my body, because like that is something that I really need to watch, and which I'm learning from that book that I'm reading, is that when I get angry, stressed, like my cortisol levels kind of go up. So I need to just get up and walk and let that flush out of my system in a proper way, right? Because cortisol is not bad really, but for somebody who has insulin resistance, diabetes, whatnot, having too much of it in my body is not good, right? Because it doesn't help me with that. If anything, it's detrimental to how my body processes sugar. So anyway, and there's a lot of good things that are still happening, right? I went to lunch with a friend yesterday, and I just had my salad, and I ordered a steak salad. I ate half of the steak, half of the salad, and I was okay. I was okay. I didn't need to eat more. And those are the things that, even though I had that food chatter, I knew I wasn't really hungry, because like I was full. So those are the things that I need to watch out for, and not go ahead and overeat and then start stretching my stomach again, because I have to take advantage of the shrinking that my stomach has experienced while on Mounjaro, right? Because I haven't been like eating the same quantities, nor constantly eating and having my stomach be stretching, working, processing my food. Okay, every now and then when I do get the food chatter, I allow myself to have a snack that preferably does not have carbohydrates, or if there are carbohydrates, there are natural carbohydrates, right? So I don't snack on bread, I don't snack on any of that stuff. If I'm gonna snack on something, it has to be either healthy fats or vegetable, but not snacking on the things that I typically wanted to always snack, which were carby things, right? And that helps. That helps because sometimes it is me getting hungrier, especially when it's getting closer to the shot, and I'm over the midlife of the shot, and the effects are less present. So of course I do get hungry, and that's like a normal reaction to these medicines, right? For some people it's better. Some people never again feel the food chatter or hunger or any of that, but that's not my case. So I have to work with it and not let that be the only deciding factor for when I'm going to titrate. Because if I let that be the only deciding factor, I feel like I'm going to be chasing clouds. And at some point where I'm going to get to the higher level of titration and this happens, I'm going to be chasing clouds, right? Because I feel that if my sugar is doing well, that's the most important factor to try to titrate. Because I had been hearing people, well, maybe when the food chatter comes, titrate. And that does make sense, right? But also I have to watch my sugar. So for me, it's not just the one thing, it's a combination of things, and the food chatter alone can't be the deciding factor, because I need to learn to live with it like I have my whole life. And if anything, with the aid of the GLPs, like these medicines, so that it's not as strong as crazy and I can continue on the journey that I'm on. Okay, now about the only side effect that I've experienced since I titrated up to 5 milligrams, because the rash, even though sometimes there was a little bit of itchiness and a mild redness on the injection site, like the rash was never there before I titrated up to 5. And then the first week, I wasn't really paying attention, so I can't say if it was or wasn't, but then the second week it was. And when I went and looked at the first week injection site, there was a rash there too. Smaller though, right? Remember that I told you guys that the big rash was over 2.5 inches. The smaller rash was like around 1.5 inches. And what do I have now? So my allergist said, mark the place where you took the shot. And I am a coward in terms of my stomach, so I was not going to go there. And on the back of the arm, in the pamphlet it says somebody should do this for you, and I didn't kind of want to go there either because I do have a continuous glucose monitor, so I didn't want to add another thing to my arm. So I asked, and my allergist said you can still choose the leg, just a place that's the furthest away possible from the injection site, and of course not the same leg I injected on last week, but the other leg. So that's what I went with the left leg, and the furthest away within that oval that is on the pamphlet of Mounjaro that I could get. And I think I did a good job at getting far away, and I'm looking at it right now just to make sure that what I'm telling you is true. So my allergist said, mark the place where you took the shot, but don't put the ink right on top of the place where you put the shot. Put it as close as you can to the side, just so that you know where you're going to be watching. And he was like, watch every, I don't know, 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. I never got a reaction until the next day, so I just went to bed. I wasn't like even looking at it throughout the night when I went to the bathroom or anything like that. But this morning I did look at it, and there's mild redness, but it doesn't even measure. It's kind of like a little tiny splotch and less than half an inch. So I'm hopeful, but I have to keep on watching it, and I have to keep on watching the other places, because remember, when I injected on my right and it flared up, then it made the left one flare up as well. So I have a couple of hypotheses of why this happened. The first one, which my allergist told me, don't rub it. That he was very clear, do not rub it this time. Just be sure to not touch it at all if possible. And that's what I did. So hopefully that's it. The second thing is I was varying the place of injection, but still very close to the same place of injection. So if this is the oval for the thigh, I was kind of staying within the fattier area of my thigh. Now I'm doing here and here, right? As far as possible as I can. So hopefully that's going to be the magic formula for me. I don't know. I guess I'll be filming other videos, like maybe every couple of days or something, updating you guys on how this is going. But for right now, 12 hours after the shot, and I think by now I have started feeling on my right leg a little bit of itchiness and uncomfortable feeling. I'm not feeling that on my left leg. And yeah, I think the key is not rubbing. So if today, later on, something else happens, I'll come back in and update you guys. If not, then that's it. And this is just the end of the video. So thank you, as always, for being there. It's super important to me, and I love your comments and the helpful tips that you offer. And it's good for me to see them, but also for other people that come with maybe the same questions or experiences or looking for something. I think we can all help each other. And as always, whatever you hear, read, make sure to always run it by your physician, because sometimes the ideas can seem like very logical and the best ones, and they might work great for others, but they don't necessarily work for our particular case, right? So that is something that I'm being very mindful of, talking about everything with my doctors. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, because having you on the other side of the camera is helping my accountability, and I'm hoping that these videos are helping your journey, and that way we can help each other, right? So yeah, join the tribe. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. All those things are wonderful to let YouTube know that this is a channel worth putting in front of other people. And again, thank you. I appreciate you, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.